Hi, it's Joanna again. I wanted to come to you today to discuss the deed. This is being recorded at our old house, and we are still in the process of moving, as you can see behind me. As promised, we will read the original deed to the coal camp house that we have researched out. Not all deeds are the same from the Pittsburgh Consolidation Coal Company and the Elkhorn Land Management Corporation. We ask everyone if your house has been purchased through these companies from 1930 through 1960 to please go over your deed and abide by the conditions that they have laid down. If you do not have a copy of your deed, you can get a copy from the property assessor's office located in the county which your residence is located. You must research your original deed, as the current deeds state that you must abide by the terms and conditions as stated in the first deed. We knew from seeing two Elkhorn Land Management Corporation deeds that some of the houses was purchased, but the land was leased for 99 years. We are not sure that all deeds are under these conditions. Because we have purchased a house that was formerly a Consolidation Coal Company property, we felt that it was prudent to research the terms and conditions of our house that we are currently planning to restore. After all, why would you buy a house and spend a lot of money restoring it, if only to lose it because of a lease agreement from 100 years ago? Doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? To protect the property, we will not be mentioning the names of the people who purchased the property nor the address. We will state that all Consolidation Coal Company properties had house numbers instead of street numbers. So be prepared for a convoluted search to find your original deed. For example, house number 1 might be in Birdine, or it might be in MacRoberts. All house numbers were assigned according to its place in the lineup of being built. House number 2000 might be in Jenkins, or somewhere else. We do know for sure that 2,000 houses were assigned to be built in the area, and the Nicola Construction Company completed all 2,000 houses. Now, for the reading of the deed. This deed is subject to any and all existing easements for highways, streets, and alleys in favor of the public. Coal is reserved, but without mining rights. And being a part of the same property, described in a deed from the Consolidation Coal Company, a Delaware corporation, to the grantor, dated, recorded in, of the same office, but subject to the following exceptions and reservations. 1. Grantor accepts all oil and gas in said land under the streets and alleys abutting the same. Also, all the oil and gas rights sold and conveyed by the Consolidation Coal Company to, by deed dated, recorded in, of the county clerk's office, and accepts and reserves unto itself all royalties and other oil and gas benefits reserved to the grantor in said deed. 2. Grantor accepts and reserves all existing sewer, water, electric, telephone, and other utility lines, including all structures, appliances, and appurtenances thereof, together with the perpetual easements deemed convenient by the grantor, its successors, and assigns, for the maintenance, renewal, removal, or duplication along the same of such lines, and with the right to sell and convey any or all of such lines and easements, either as easement apputent or other property, as a system or systems in gross, but grantor does not hereby accept any utility service line, situation, and serving only the lot hereby conveyed. And it is understood that the grantor does not, by this deed or at all, agree to furnish the grantee any of the named or other utility services. It is expressly understood and agreed between the parties hereto that the utility services, such as water and electric power, which may have been or are now being furnished by the grantor to the premises above described, may be discontinued at any time. It is being the intention of the grantor to dispose of the utility systems to the public utilities engaged in the business of selling such services. 3. Grantor accepts and reserves the right to enter from time to time upon said land to make engineering surveys. To have and to hold, subject to said exceptions, reservations, and agreements, unto the grantee, their heirs, and assigns forever, with covenant of general warranty. Grantor will pay the taxes based on assessment made as of and before. Grantee will pay all other taxes. As you can see, the terms of the house has already been fulfilled. As far as we know, no business has been in the house since the signing of the deed in 1945, which fulfills the 5-year no business agreement. But the statement also tells us that the Consolidation Coal Company had planned at the time of the sale of the property to eventually sell their businesses to proprietors within the next 5 years. So this statement is to make sure that there was no competition for their company stores for the next 5 years. Under condition 1, it is agreed that the Consolidation Coal Company still owns the mineral rights to the property. For example, if there was a huge seam of coal under the property and a way could be found to mine that coal, then Consol had the right to mine it. The person who owned the house had no rights to the minerals. Under condition 2, it is agreed that the property owner would receive their utilities from Consolidation Coal Company. At that time, the company owned the electric and the water companies. These utilities are now under the control of the town which the property lies. However, with that last statement, we learn that Consolidation Coal Company also had future plans to rid itself of the utilities as well. So, we have the statement that all utilities could be shut off when the transition happened. Under the condition 3, it is agreed that the new property owners would not interfere with any engineering surveys because Consolidation Coal Company at that time was under pressure from its many bankruptcy cases. Engineering surveys were expected as the properties were being sold. The rest of this deed explains that these conditions will continue as long as the property is in existence, and that the Consolidation Coal Company agreed to pay all taxes up to that point of the sale of the said property. So this deed is pretty straightforward. Basically, Consol owns the rights to the minerals. The person owning the house will not run a business that competes with Consol for 5 years, contained between the years of 1945 and 1950. That as long as Consol owned the utilities, the property owner agreed to use their company for these services only and to pay for said services, and that the property owner will not interfere with any engineering surveys. But again, we must state that not all deeds and agreements are the same. Again, look up your property to find out the terms and conditions of your property. We thank you for your time as we walk through the ins and out of the property ownership where the Appalachian coal fields are.